good afternoon, good evening, depending on our respective locations. As usual, today I would like to first of all welcome our uh, guest speaker, in person of Dr. Abubakar Ibrahim Jatau, who is here with us to give us a presentation on a very important topic. I welcome other members who have joined us from all parts of the world and from different specialization. My name is Mohammed Mustafa. I am a PhD student here at University Science Malaysia. So normally as a tradition, we start our regular webinars by introducing who we are. This platform is called Pharmacy Scholars Initiative, which is mostly abbreviated as PSI. And we have a very simple and straightforward motto, which is nurturing research ideas. Now, PSI is a forum of top-notch professionals, mostly pharmacists, and these pharmacists, alongside other professionals, have common interest in research and career development. The forum was founded in 2017 with our current president, who is one of the pioneer members, Dr. Ibrahim Jatau, and some other key persons. And the forum has now grew up to, I think, a total number of over 30 members cutting across different specializations in pharmacy. And these persons are widely distributed all over the world, some from the UK, some from US, Australia, myself from Malaysia, and quite a lot of members from Nigeria. And we are still growing. We are open to growing bigger, accepting other members, and expanding our portfolios. So we are actually deeply involved in several career and mentorship programs. Most importantly, we are engaged in a mix of programs and projects, including research, mentorship, and career development, especially for early career researchers. We are also involved in research collaborations. Most importantly, we are involved in the multidisciplinary research, multinational research in that direction. So also we are involved in community programs, community engagement. Sometimes we go on radio to promote health programs, which are mostly facilitated by our members. We are also involved in professional development, which I believe today's topic would also tell us more about how to develop ourselves professionally and career-wise. So just some housekeeping rules. We will allow the guest speaker to fully and freely make his presentation without interruption, unless he decides otherwise to have it like in a form of engagement, form of presentation. So all initial comments can be dropped in the chat box. The chat box is open. We will also have an open question and answer at the end of the session. The webinar is going to be recorded, which I'm doing right now. And at the end of the day, we're going to share it to your emails, and we're going to share with on our YouTube channels, Facebook channels, which is currently being streamed live. You can as well search us on Facebook and YouTube, just Pharmacy Scholars Initiative. You can follow us in case we'll have the recordings there. And of course, you have access to invitations to our future webinars, which we do regularly. Also, you can, of course, send us feedback through our email, which is pharmscholarsinitiative@gmail.com. So the agenda of today is very straightforward, inshallah. Our guest speaker, Dr. Ibrahim Jatau, who doubled as our president of PSI, is going to take us through the topic, a guide to writing a cover letter. And of course, we have in our midst our erudite and seasoned scholar, Dr. Abubakar Jatau, who is going to moderate the session. And after the presentation, we will have the question and answer session, which all of us can contribute. So without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Abubakar Danbatta to continue with the session as usual. So I don't know, Dr. Abubakar, if you are ready, the podium is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mustafa, for such wonderful introduction. You actually made my work very easy. I think I can most likely at this point just hand over the mic to our prof, Dr. Ibrahim Jatau, who has done so much and is doing, continuously. We don't have any word to use except to say thank you. You have insisted on, you have continued to impart knowledge. Like we used to say in the military, whether we like it or not, you have continued to force us to learn things that ordinarily, without this kind of push, we would have kept it aside. Our topic is on cover letter. This is, it looks simple, cover letter, but it's something that has led to a lot of confusion. Personally, I have personally experienced much of this confusion. A lot of times, there were times I have been asked to write a cover. I mostly get confused. You're right, asking me to write an application to submit my CV, my resume, and then you're asking me to write a cover letter. What is this cover letter? How different it is from what you're asking me to submit. So I believe at the end of this session, we are going to go home with lots of enlightenment on what a cover letter is. And I know our professor, that is Ibrahim Jatau, will do justice to this very topic. So I call on all of us to please pay attention. If we have questions, there will be time for questions and answer session. And I think at this point, I will call on our prof to kindly kickstart the presentation. Prof, you have the floor.
Anyway, good day, everyone. I'm not a professor anyway, Dr. Danbatta. I'm just Ibrahim. Anyway, good day, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It depends from where you're watching our webinar. And for those in Nigeria, I think most of our participants are from there. I would say good morning. So this is like a continuation of our previous seminar that we did, I think last 2 weeks or last week, on resume, like writing a CV, that's curriculum vitae. As you all know, whether you're in the academia or in any other field, we continue seek to progress in our life. We continue to aspire to be in a higher position. If you finish university, your aim is to either to get a job or to continue your education, either to do master's or to do a PhD. Or even if you're in the academia, another thing is you may want to progress into a senior positions. Or sometimes, even if you finish your PhD, you want to seek for employment or you want to continue your career as a postdoc. So in all these things, you need a tool that will help you to seek or to secure those positions. So these two important tools are a CV and a cover letter. So we have already discussed about CV. If you missed the previous lecture, most likely before the end of this webinar, we'll post the link to the YouTube recording in our chat box. That's the so the second one is the cover letter. Cover letter is just like application letter. So it's just a way of writing. So we all write this cover letter and we all write this application letter, but there is something that we need to upgrade or we need to tell ourselves is how better or how effective are we writing this letter? Because Mr. A and Mr. B can write the same letter, but the way Mr. B writes it may be different from the way Mr. A writes it. And that little difference will make Mr. B to secure the job. So this today, I will take you through a step-by-step and some tips and tricks on how best you can write a cover letter that will get the job you want to. So as a startup, I try to bring an outline just to have a guide on where the presentation is going. So we would tell ourselves, or we discuss about cover letter. I mean, what a cover letter is, the features of cover letter, then the uses of cover letter. What do we use cover letter for? And then since this is a Pharmacy Scholars Initiative, and most of us are into research, and I'm very sure most of our participants also, most likely they are seeking for, or they want to seek for scholarship abroad. So it's within the academic cycle. So today we'll talk about academic cover letter and how it's the same basic, the only difference is very small, and we'll see it in the course of the webinar. So then we'll now talk about the types of cover letter, and then types of academic letter, sorry. So we know the academic letter, then what are different types and which one do you think you want to write? And then what do we need to do before start writing any cover letter? Like there are some tips and tricks that you need to do. You can't just, you see application, just get your pen and paper or a laptop and start typing cover letter. You know, there is some background checks that you need to do at hand before you start writing. So we'll talk about them, and then how to format the letter, the structure of the letter, some do and don'ts at the end. We'll now talk about what you need to put in the letter, what you shouldn't put. So starting with the cover letter. What is a cover letter? Like I said in the beginning, and like what Danbatta said and Dr. Mustafa, it is a document that provides additional information about your education, skills, experiences that is related to the job you're applying for. So it's like a CV, it's just like a summary. It's like a bullet points of who you are, your education, your research background, number of publication. But a cover letter is went a step ahead to add additional information to those information that the summary information you provide in your CV. Because somebody may read your CV, but he may not understand the heavy things behind those points we are saying. So the cover letter will now give additional information from the CV. So in summary, we write cover letter from the information from the CV. So this is what this point is talking about. And then, so no single cover letter for all applications, meaning each and every application you are writing, you need to create a cover letter specific for that application. Unless it's just the same application, you just need to change some specific information related to that particular application. But you can't just use one cover letter for all your job application. This is very wrong. That's why we say it's related to job that you are applying for. Then a formal letter should be a formal letter. It shouldn't be an info. So all the content must be precise and concise and has to be in a formal tone. And then it's something that you use to introduce yourself and describe your best career moments. Like I said, your CV just give you a bullet points like a summary, but the cover letter is the place that you need to describe your best career moment. You have been this, you have been that. And also a cover letter is the one that will give you opportunity to demonstrate your communication skills, because the way you write also demonstrates how good you are in communicating information. And when your letter is badly written, from there, they know that you don't have good or you have poor communication skills. Also in the same letter that you use, if you have any gap in employment, maybe you started a job maybe at Federal Medical Center in Guru, and then you stopped at 2022, maybe you went back to school for master's, and then you came back or you HTH and continued in 2010. So there is 2 or 3 years in between. So in that cover letter, you need to mention, if needed, in the requirements, the job requirements. So you need to mention that, okay, from this year to this year, you have been doing masters in a particular institution, just to show that you are not idle within that 2 years. So cover letter give you this opportunity to do that. Also, a cover letter give you opportunity to show your interest and enthusiasm for the position you're applying for, because the hiring manager or the organization wants to know how interested you are in the position you're applying for. Or is it just because I'm just jobless, I just want to apply this job just to get moving, or to get what to eat, or to just for the money? No, the employer wants to know if you are really, really interested in the job. So cover letter is one that will show that. So a cover letter could be minimum for non-academic, 1 page is okay, but like for academic purposes, 2-page maximum. Or for higher academic position like professorship, it can go up to 3 pages, but maximum 1 or 2 pages. It depends, and sometimes they even specifically tell you in the advertisement that your 1-page cover letter or 2-page cover letter. So you have to keep it to that. If it's a 2-page, if you write 1 page, that's fine. If what you write is okay. And that cover letter, it has to look professional. You can't just write it haphazardly, or just anything that came to your head, just pour it. No, it has to look professional. And again, you have to target your skills, meaning anything you have to say, it has to be surrounding your skill, your interest, and your profession. So you don't have to go and populate it with some irrelevant information. And again, it's have to be simple. You have to make it simple. You don't have to make it so complex using some jargons or some complex words that even you don't really know the comprehensive meaning. And also it has to be devoid of any typos like typographical errors. All the grammars has to be very, very, we are not English speakers, but at least the grammar should be minimal. There should be a minimal grammatical errors, because anybody who is reading it is expecting to read a very good English. So once he has started seeing some grammatical errors, he knows that definitely he might not be the good candidate for the position they are advertising. So we have talked about the cover letter. Now, what are the uses of this cover letter? How can you apply the cover letter? Number one, we apply cover letter for employment purposes. Like if you finish your PhD and you're looking for academic position, or you finish your undergraduate and you want to apply for a position for work, so you need a cover letter or employment letter, or sorry, application letter. That's the main terminology we are used to it. So you need that. Again, if you are in a particular institution and promotion, some institution really require you to write a cover letter to tell them about your additional training, additional degrees you did, so you put it in writing through cover letter. And sometimes when we finish school for professionals, if you're going for internship, we normally write our CV, then we now write a cover letter to it. So it's like cover letter is mostly part of us as we move through our career pathways. And we also use a cover letter to seek admission in school, especially scholarship. Maybe if you want to continue your master's degree or your PhD, for PhD application scholarship, you really need to spend more time to write a very good cover letter, because that's what the admission panel or the scholarship award panel will use to award you with the scholarship. So it has to be professional, it has to be effective. So you have to pay attention to it. And if you are already in the academia, if you want to apply for fund, that's grant application, you also need a cover letter to tell the people who have the money, to tell them, okay, I need your money to conduct this research because of my background experience and interest in research. I will really utilize this money to conduct this research effectively. So you need to explain all these things in your cover letter. Also, if you're applying, if you finish PhD and you still want to do some postdoc, is another opportunity for you to use your cover letter. to apply or to add additional information about this. And also for some who would like to migrate to another country, like as you also said, to Japan, to another country. So if you're applying for this, you really need to use a cover letter in the application process to tell them that you are a very good person and you will be a very good citizen in their own country. So you need a cover letter. This one, immigration charges a lot of money for this, just to charge you to write this immigration letter. So knowing the uses of generally for cover letter, since we are all scholars, as I said, another thing we need to look into is the academic cover letter. And this is mostly the same with normal cover letter for your job application. The only addition is this is a little bit more elaborate, and this one focused more on your education, training, and research. So this is the little difference between this and other normal letter that we normally write for internship and other non-academic employment. So what's this academic cover letter, or how does this differ from the normal or the conventional cover letter or application letter? This one, it describes your research and teaching experiences as a candidate for a specific position. So if you're applying for like a job in BUK to teach or to lecture, your cover letter should tell the employer about your research and teaching experiences. So also, it will demonstrate how your academic or research background fits with the advertised position. So it will now, you need to explain in the letter how your academic, you have PhD, you have master's, and then you have publication, that's your research. How does it fit in with the advertised position? That is the requirement. Okay, we want someone with PhD, we want someone with 13 publication in this and that. So it's in that letter that you need to explain. And so we know academic cover letter. Now, what are the different types of academic cover letter? So it's either a research focus. We all know that in the academia, you can be just conducting research without teaching anything, or you can teach without conducting research, or you can do both, like teaching and training and solely on research. So the cover letter, it's the same format, the same everything, is only the content. It depends on whether you're applying for a research focused, whether you're like research is for those who are applying for PhD scholarship or postdoc. Most you normally use research focus because you are doing PhD most likely just to conduct research. Teaching purpose, that's just for if you are strictly going for teaching. And then you combine if you are going for to teach and also to conduct research. It's the same basic thing, it's only the content that matters. So what to do before writing a cover letter? So like I said, now you have the job, you see the job advertisement, assuming Bayero University Faculty of Pharmacy or University Science Malaysia advertising for a job of maybe a research officer. That's number one. Number one is there is advertisement. Number two, under that advertisement, they said they need a PhD, someone with PhD, someone with 10 publication, someone with good communication skills, someone with giving good attention to details, all those specific information. So what you need to do before you pencil down your cover letter is, number one, is you study the position descriptions and the requirement carefully. So whatever, whether it's a job, whether it's a scholarship, whether it's anything, just read, what do they want? What are the skills that they require? What are the qualifications, the eligibility criteria? You know yourself. You now say, okay, do I have this, or how can I fit in this, my qualification into this to perfectly match? That's number, you need to know this first. And I normally write it down. I would think, brainstorm, I'll write it down. Then you have to research about the institution. So if it is University Science Malaysia, you need to, okay, what are the vision and vision of University Science Malaysia? If you are applying for a particular a scholarship in a particular department, go to the department, look at the research themes. What kind of research do they conduct? Do they have any particular mission or vision for the faculty? Pick some keywords from there and just note them down. Then after then you now brainstorm. Okay, you have the research position descriptions. Then you have the research institution information about it. It is the second best university in Southeast Asia. It's number 2 in world ranking. All those things, have it in mind. Then sometimes I even go further to see the profile of the person, the contact person for the scholarship. Okay, maybe Dr. Mustafa. Okay, let me see his publications. Let me see his research grants. Let me see his previous research. That will determine what I will write in my cover letter to pick his attention. That's number 2. Then you now try to say, okay, from my research background, research experience, research everything, how can I now match with this specification and the institution vision and vision? I'll normally write it on paper drafts. Okay, they needed communication skills. Okay, I'll now say, okay, I presented conference, intentional conference, demonstrating my oral communication skills. I published paper demonstrating my writing skills. All those things, just to match them. I'll put them aside. So when I have all these things on ground, then I'll now find a perfect time for me to start writing. So before you start writing, you just have some things at the back of your mind is, so what is the format of writing the cover letter? It's not just like a normal writing. So does it have a format? Yes. But all this format is not, there is no standard, maybe that if you have not done this, you did it wrong. But this is what is widely being used and widely being acceptable. So you have to use a very readable font. Don't make it too fancy. Just make it very simple. Most people use Arial, Times Roman, some use Calibri. Just make it simple. Don't use any fancy font and font style. And it's normally written in 10 to 12 points, like font size. 10, 11, 12 is okay. 8 is too tiny. 13, 14 is too big. In fact, you don't even have the space. And then do not indent paragraphs. Like you finish paragraph 1, the paragraph 2, you now use space to create indent. Don't. You don't need to do that. Also, when you finish writing, you need to single space the lines. Double space, it will make it too wide, and you have more to write, but you don't have space. So single spacing is what is widely used. And also, once you finish paragraph 1 and paragraph 2, you need to at least keep a space. You don't have to click enter to create a space. If you are familiar with Microsoft Word, if you go to the home under those dotted line, if you click, it will now say add space before paragraph, add space after paragraph. So if you click the top line, you click add space before paragraph. So it will give you, it automatically give you a space that you want. And then, so this is the format. Like I said, I will show you like a draft format to see how it looks, how this thing looks. Just to make sure that you rate a very, because any cover letter with a very good look, it's like it attracts the reader to read more. But once you see the letter too tiny or too tiny font, very closely spaced, he'll be too bored to continue reading, and that would not be good for you. So now we have gone through the format of writing a cover letter. Now the main business of the day, that's the structure of the cover letter. Now how to write it. Please, I want us to pay good attention to this, because these are the tricks that you will use to make you to stand out other thousands of applicants that apply for a particular job. So number 1, we start with contact details. Dr. Danbatta, with your permission, I will use you and Mustafa just to demonstrate some example. All the example I use, they are just for purpose of this webinar for you to understand. So now, first, you need to start with your contact address. Number 1, it could be on the left side of the page. right, or it could be at the center. All are acceptable. I use the one at the center because it looks more professional. So you need to include your full name, no abbreviation. Or you can write, I use Ibrahim J. Abubakar. You can write fully Ibrahim Jatau Abubakar, but that 3 names should appear. And I always use the name I use in my passport. Then use address. We normally encourage to use a postal address in case they want to send you a letter. Then definitely your email address. It has to be active email address. Then you need to include your phone number. That one, definitely that one is and while writing phone number, I will always encourage to use the code +234 for Nigeria. Then you write 80 at the end. Then this is optional, but I always encourage people to write it. We don't always used to have a website, but we always have our scholarly profile or professional profile. One of the commonly used professional profile is LinkedIn. And then for scholarly profile, we use Google Scholar. Some use ResearchGate. It's all acceptable. So while writing this scholar, I will show you in the next slide. I don't want you to write my Google Scholar profile. Then you open bracket. You now write all those code and developer jargon, A plus minus minus. I want you to put it inside the hyperlink in the scholarly profile. Then I will show you, or if you don't know, just click Google how to insert a link on words. It will show you thousands of information. So this is the information you need to put. Then this is an example of how you need to put it. So it should be, this is the example of left-hand side. It should be like this. Pharm Abubakar Danbatta, MBA or whatever, MBBS, anything, MPH, your address, it has to include Nigeria, the city and Nigeria. It's optional to put the state number. You can just put double streets, but just it's postal, they might send you something. So it's good to put the full address. Then you can see the email address, you can see the phone number +234, and then you can put LinkedIn. In that LinkedIn, you can now attach the hyperlink. Let me see if I can, or maybe at the end, if we have time, I can show, let me not waste time, how to insert a hyperlink into a word. So this is the good example of left-hand side. And then for the right-hand side, it should be in this way, just the way we write our letter at home. This is most likely British. You know, we write the address in the, okay, this is the right-hand side. And then this is how it looks like. But this is my favorite one. I normally write it at the center. So if I write it at the center, I now put a very bold line, just make it like a letter heading, you know, just to give you like unique. Most people use left and right. Then you need to be unique. So I now put it at the center. I now put a black line, just like a letter heading, because you're a professional. So this is how I normally write mine. So this is an example of the information you need to write, that's your contact information. Then the next is the information of the hiring or the dates. So when you are writing the dates, we always require to use dates, day, month, and year. In this, it's up to you. You can use, but let there be day, month, and year. It's up to you how you write it. So you can, it could be, you can place it on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. This is an example, 1709-2003. Or you can put 17th September 2003. It's up to you, but it should be clear. The next is the contact details of the hiring manager or the contact person or the institution. So how do you write this one? This information should contain the full name of the contact person or the hiring manager, or for example, if it is a scholarship, at the end you will see the person, the contact person name, Mr. This, Professor this, Dr. This. So this is what we are talking about here. Then his title, is he the dean, the head of research, the head of lab, anything, the hiring manager, that's the role. And the name of the organization, maybe a University of Science Malaysia, whatever. So this is an example. So the structure of the cover is like Professor Mustafa Muhammad, assume is the contact person for his scholarship, head of clinical pharmacy, University of Science Malaysia, Penang, Malaysia. Even if this is not, this head of pharmacy is not stated, it is highly encouraged to go to his profile in the school website to look for this, because this will show them that you have really did some homework regarding your application or regarding the institution you are applying. You are not just, using the application provided and jumping to write. So this is another trick around here. Then when you write your address, your contact details, dates, then the recipients, that's the hiring, wherever address. Then the next is salutation. That's the opening salutation you need, maybe like dear, all those that you normally write. But for this, there's some little trick as well. So in this case, even if, like I said, you need to make it personified. Dear, mention his name, dear Professor Mustafa. Then it has to be in comma, or it should be with semicolon. Dear Professor Mustafa. Then you put comma. Dear Professor Mustafa Mohammed. Oh no, you don't have to be full. You can dear Professor Mustafa, dear Professor Danbatta, semicolon, comma. So that's how it should be. An example is like this. Dear Professor, Prof Danbatta. I think Prof is full stop, sorry. So this is how it should be. If you don't know, if there is no name given, so you just write hiring team or hiring officer or dear research team leader or something like that. Make it just be personified. Don't just make it dear to me to my concern, dear sir, dear ma. Yeah, people, they won't penalize you, but the issue is that it needs to be something professional to know that you really know them. So apart, then after this, the next that will come is the subject. Some doesn't write this, but I always write this just to let them know this is why I'm writing this. The subject, you have to refer to the position at the subject, just like we normally do. This is not something new, but I just want us to make it a little bit unique, a little bit more packaging than the common one that we normally write. So how I write it is like this. It should be re, it's not rec, sorry, this is a typo. Re mean like reference to refer to your adverts. We all write this. So cover letter for the research officer position. So this is, I think I put it here. So this is the code, because sometimes if they are advertising, they normally put research officer, they now put a particular code. This code is just for their own internal purpose, for their own internal use. So you go to the advert, if there is the code, copy it. If there is no, you don't have to bother yourself. So you can just put cover letter for research officer position in bracket, you now put the code. This just to make it so specific that this is for internal purpose for them, for the internal consumption. This is what I am applying for. So after you write this, the next is the main structure of the letter. That's the main body, the writing, the main body, the main business of the letter. So before you write that, after you have all your information at the background, the one information is the information about the institution, the UI information, how it fits into the information about the school you have obtained, and the description of the position they provide in advert. So when you have this at the tip of your hand, so before you write, you make sure that you use few keywords from the job announcement. Because when they are mentioning the job, they'll be saying somebody with good communication skills or effective in data management, or like there's some key terminology they will mention in that application. It is really, really important if you are applying, if you are writing the content of that, not copy and paste, but you have to include those keywords. And you have to make your point very clear. So the importance of writing all these keywords is so that the reader can clearly associate your qualification, your experience with the job description. Also, it's happening here. Once you apply for a job, the first thing that it will go, there is no human contact. All your letters that you send, they'll pass through a software. So the software that will now sieve, or that will now pick, the most relevant cover letter or application that they will be considered for interview. So if that software didn't pick your application, definitely they don't even know you applied. So that software, how it picked your application is using that keywords that you add. The software is programmed to pick application with those keywords. So if your application doesn't have enough of those keywords, I'm just telling you, just be complaining. You have been applying and nobody call you. This is one of the reasons. So when you have this at the tip of your mind, the next thing is the main purpose, the writing. So in writing the cover letter, the contents, we have like 3 paragraphs. Number 1, that is the first paragraph that you introduce yourself. And then the second one, that is main body. The main body of the paragraph is the one that you can express your research ideas, how it connects with the position, with the school. And then at the last part, that is concluding paragraph, that you now summarize yourself and then add additional information that is not required or not requested, but it's just like an added value. So, and then you can now conclude and send. So for the first paragraph, that is the introduction paragraph. This is the information that you need to put there. Number 1, you need to introduce yourself. Describe why you're applying for the position and claim as to why you are a strong candidate. You have to demonstrate in that first paragraph that really you are the one that's best for that scholarship. Please, they should give you. So, but you have to be very smart in how you present it. And then the second part of this paragraph, how you identify the position you're applying for is not necessary, but it's an added value. And then you have to write the full name of the position and where you discover the job position. This one is also optional. So a good example is this example of introduction paragraph. Please pay attention to this. So like this, I could say this is not the standard, but this is the widely used, and this is what we were taught on how to do it. So you can write with your name, you can start with your name. Some people doesn't because they have already provided the names at the top, but they are just emphasizing. So you can say, my name is Dr. Abubakar S. Danbatta, PhD. If you have MSc, put MSc, MBA, MPH, it really made a difference. And I am writing regarding the research officer position that was advertised on University Science Malaysia's website. So you can see the one in blue, it shows you're introducing yourself. The one in yellow is information about the position. Then I've completed my PhD in medicinal chemistry or whatever from Bayero University, Kano, Nigeria. Then you now want to link your PhD and your background with the position's requirement. I have a broad foundational experience in epidemiological research and data management, developing, implementing, and evaluating public health programs. So this is the keywords that you may pick from the adverts. And this is exactly what they will say they are looking for. We are looking for individual with epidemiological research experience with skills in data management skills, with experience in developing and implementing public health. So you now put it at the first paragraph. First reading, they will know, this guy, yes, is the person we are looking for. Then you now want to tell them, okay, you know them. So you now tell them, going through your position statement of duties, to tell them that you have really went through it, what they are asking. And okay, which I'm confident that my academic background, skills, and experiences match with the needs and goals of this position. So you are telling them you have gone through their school website and you know what this mission and vision is. And you are now telling them that, okay, your research experience and those skills, they are perfectly matched. And then you are now showing them interest and enthusiasm, like, I am thrilled to take up the offer immediately, meaning like if they offer you now, you are happy to take it. And like maybe in the job eligibility requirement, they said they need somebody that can work in emergency situations. So you are now telling them you are happy to work in emergency situation. So with this, the manager, anybody reading that, okay, I think this guy is a potential candidate. Let me read further. So you now go ahead and read what you want to tell him more. So all what you are telling him now is about this, your qualification, your research experience. This is like an abstract of what you are telling him. So the next paragraph should link up with this and your CV. So this is what you call the main body paragraph. So the main body paragraph is the main thing. It's the one that will go elaborate on what you are saying. So it should be 2 or more paragraphs, depending on the page number they ask you. And the content, like I said, it depends on the position descriptions. What do they ask? And then for an example for this webinar, I'm just using like a research-centered position. So yeah, if you're applying for a scholarship or for a research officer or something, this is what we are talking about. So that main paragraph, main body paragraph, the first paragraph should start with your current research. So even if you are not conducting any current research, so you can use your thesis or your B.Pharm or your BSc research or your master research or your PhD research. I always use my PhD research. Or sometimes if I have any interesting research that match with what they're asking, I use it. But like I said, I'm just using an example. Then the next one is you also in that paragraph you need to mention your main aim of the research. What was the research about? Major findings. Then if you receive any awards, any conference you participated, any publication you made, and any link to any link with the position, meaning if it is published, then you copy that, like I said before, and add that link to the publication. I think I need to show how we do this. So a good example, this is just an example, but it's up to you to frame yourself how the best you can do. So like I said, the second paragraph is the main paragraph. So this is how it should be written. Or this is how an example, like demonstrating my extensive experience in disease surveillance, epidemiological activities, and data analysis was evident in my PhD project. So you can say in your master project, you can say in your ongoing project or published project or in your current project. It depends. What I'm trying to say, I'm trying to link the main requirement for the research position with my research. So I now said, then the next one is the aim, like I said. My PhD research was on epidemiology of diabetes in Kano State. Like this is the aim of the research. Then the next is how I do that, the method. The project utilized a prospective cohort study that collaborated with different community-based organizations, meaning a part of what they said, maybe they said they needed somebody who has good experience in community engagement or community involvement. So you need to just mention in a line that, okay, you have this experience. You don't have to say, I have experience of this. Just make it flow, make it professional. Then you now talk about the main finding. Through the project, I screened over 1,000 older people across 50 different communities in Kano, and a 0.9% prevalence of unknown diabetes was detected. This is to show them that, okay, this is what you found, like a breakthrough. So the outcome of this research, meaning the findings or the publication, were analyzed. This to demonstrate that you are good in biostatistical analysis, as they mentioned, published in leading public health journals, and presented at conferences. So you can see this, it's highlighted, meaning I already put the hyperlink to the paper that is published from the research. So you don't have to put it in the link or please see the publication or please see the link to the publication. No. If the guy is a professional, once he sees that hyperlink, he knows that, okay, there is something there. So if he click it, it will take him to that paper that is already published. I will show you how to do this at the end. So this is like an example of how the second paragraph should look. And even if you're applying for a scholarship, master's, PhD, I will really emphasize we use this just to summarize your master's, PhD, master's project or your Pharm project or your bachelor. Just one paragraph is enough. Then after this, like I said, it could be 1 or 2 paragraphs. I just use 2 paragraphs. This is the second paragraph. So further, that you are telling the reader that, okay, in addition, like also more information, illustrating my expertise in epidemiological reporting and biostatistical skills. Meaning, if in the job advert they say they need somebody with who is expert in epidemiological reporting and biostatistics, this is how you write it. Illustrating my expertise in epidemiological reporting and biostatistical skills was the publication of over 10 scientific publications. I think if you publish 10 papers or 2-3 papers, I think we can call you an expert in writing. Anyway, many of which are epidemiological studies. I'd like to tell them that, okay, most of these publications are in epidemiology. That's the field you are asking me, such as diabetes and COVID-19. So you can go ahead. Some of these publications, just to tell them that you are an international figure, like you are not just a bloody village champion. So you're also an international guy. So you can tell that most of these publications were hosted by many international organizations to provide epidemiological evidence. So you can now say, for example, 4 of my epidemiological research appear in the World Health Organization's COVID-19 database, you know, just to show them that even WHO know you and how to know whether your research is being utilized or hosted by some other big organization. I will show you at the end of this. Please remind me if I missed it. I don't want us to lose focus. But at the end, I will show you how to track the effort of your research so that you use it to write a story about yourself. So this is the structure of the second paragraph. Just to add additional information. If there's anything not connected to the first one, you can write it here. You are free. You just write, but you have to really package yourself. Then we have concluding paragraph. So we have the intro, the main paragraph, then the intro, the concluding paragraph is just to sum up your fit for the position. Okay, I'll tell them I'm this, I'm that. I'm really emphasizing, I'm really the person you are looking for. Please don't miss me. Then this is also another chance that you need to present your excitement and gratitude for being considered. And then it's also the opportunity to present yourself as an officer, like just you imagine yourself as already gotten the position. How would you behave? How do you work? How do you present yourself? So this is in the concluding paragraph. Or if there's any added value, or okay, you have to demonstrate your as a colleague with a similar interest. And at the end, you also is an opportunity to write an additional value. Or like something like for follow-up details, you want to provide some contacts. If in the example, you'll see how we write this. So this is an example of the concluding paragraph. After all the English, at the end, you can now say, given my vast knowledge and experience in epidemiological research in 2 countries, meaning You can, this just to make it fancy in smart way, like giving my vast, meaning all the what I mentioned above paragraphs surrounding knowledge and experience in this aspect that you are looking for. I have them and I obtain them from, assuming if I did my master's in India, I can write them. Or if I do my master in 2 universities in Nigeria, I can write it, obtain from 2 big universities in Nigeria, just to make it like professional. You can now add expertise in public health administration and advanced biostatistics. This advanced, once you know how to do inferential biostatistics, you can call this advanced biostatistical analysis. So I believe, like, you are really telling them, I will be an asset to the research team. You can now, if they have a research team, the name, you can put the name here just to ensure familiarity, to know that, okay, I know your research team, I know the name. Or you can mention the department, or you can mention the university, just make it like you really know them and you have really done your background checks. This is very little, is part of what you call emotional intelligence. The person will be reading what is already being familiar with. Also, then you're adding information. Being registered with the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria, if you are a pharmacist, then you can now put your registration number. Just to tell them that, okay, they can even go and confirm that my number is here, I don't care. I will bring my comprehensive set of skills towards achieving excellence in delivering the vision and vision of the unit. Like you are telling them that I have lots of skills, organizational skill, time management skills, all those skills I have comprehensive, and I'm happy to bring them toward achieving your mission and vision. So when they see, they say, no, this guy, I think we need to invite him for interview to tell us more about himself. And that's the main purpose of cover letter, for you to get invited for interview. Then at the end, you can now say, please feel free to contact me via my email. Then you cannot, this, you have already mentioned the email above, but here you are just emphasizing it that, please, if you want more information, contact me through this. I'm happy to give you information. So this is what the cover or the concluding paragraph, you have to write this. You have to write a concluding paragraph in the letter you are sending, please. So at the end, that's what you call a closing salutation. And this is also very important. So it is like a formal goodbye followed by a comma. So like you said, sincerely, best regards, kind regards with a comma. Thank you. Thank you for your consideration. And thank you for your time. And this is what we always write in a formal interview, just like to remind ourselves how we do it. And then lastly, which I know most of us, we don't care to do it, but I really suggest that we should do it, like writing signature and name. Well, after you say thank you, then you now sign. If you don't have electronic signature on your laptop, please do it. You can create it from PDF. You can, in PDF, mostly there is a place they add in, it will say add insert signature. So if you click it, it will take you upload or you write there. So if you want to upload it, you just get a plain paper white, sign on it, scan with your phone, transfer it to your laptop and save it in any of your documents. Then you upload it through your PDF. So anytime you can click insert signature, it will just appear automatic. Or anytime you are instead, just go to that signature, copy, paste it on the letter, you crop it and resize it just to fit into the place. Or if you don't have, if you are not so much tech savvy, you can use you write your name and make it in a different font. Like this, in case of Abubakar S. Danbatta, Abubakar S. Danbatta is a different font. So or you can do the which I highly encourage. You can print it out, sign, scan. Anyways, it's up to you. But to me, it doesn't look that professional. But you just make it like, yeah, you're also a professional, yes. So this is in summary how the closing, how the at the end finally find out and write everything how you need to write your name, your signature. Like me, sometimes I even add my number just for the guy. If you want to contact him, he doesn't have to go to the top. It's looking for my number of my email. So in summary, we discussed about the cover letter, the uses, academic cover letter, the content, like looking about the contact of the person writing, the contact of the hiring manager, salutation, subject, body, introduction, main paragraph, concluding paragraph, closing. Now, there are some things that please, we don't always want you to do it. This is what you call do and don'ts of writing a cover letter. Please. Number one, for the do, that's what we want you to do is, or what we encourage us to do is make it professional, please. Then make it very simple and evidence-based. Anything you are writing there, it should be fact. Don't lie, please. Don't start like over-hyping yourself. Just make it as it is. If the job is yours, it will definitely be yours. Then check for spelling and grammar mistakes. And you can do this, use Grammarly. Grammarly, the basic features of Grammarly is free. You don't have to pay. So just I'll encourage every one of us to download Grammarly on his laptop. And if you open an account with Grammarly, I do it. You use it on your laptop. And when you download it on your phone, you just sign in. And anytime you are typing text, Grammarly is what you write. If there's any error, it will highlight it so you fix it. So even if you are typing with your phone, it's corrects you. If you are typing in English, it corrects you. So I always use Grammarly just to check if there is no full stop or comma, it will highlight it so you can fix it. Or you can ask someone. My Shaban, I always say, is my Grammarly. So I use my electronic, Shaban, please check this for me. So like they said, the more eyes, the better. So ask somebody to go through it. Apologies to my sisters. Sometimes ladies are more in picking mistakes in writing than men. I don't know. My teacher said it and we tried it, but this is just a theory and apologies. So if you want a good proofread, give it to a lady who is in your field. And then ensure it is in good formatting, like we said before, all the font size, the font style, the arrangement, the spacing, make sure that it is looking very neat. And please, while writing cover letter, don't try to increase the margin. The standard margin of the size A4, we all know it, but sometimes some people, in order to maximize the space, they try to increase the margin. Please, some ATS software doesn't pick those letters with improper margin. So please just use it and try to summarize it in order to give you the 1-page or 2-page document they requested. And the most important is the don't. Please do not copy and paste. Like you have a friend who writes an application letter for a PhD scholarship, and then you ask him for the letter and he just dub it, copy and paste, and just change your name and other things. Please do not. Just look at an example of this. I always laugh if I look at it. He, instead of writing, because he already copy and paste it, is maybe the person doing it put Booga instead of blogger. And I look at what the interview they ask him is, you say that you are a professional. Abuga means Tosune in Hausa. So please, this is also another problem from proofreading. If you didn't proofread your letter very well, it will lead you into this. And if the hiring manager is like I don't want to mention that. It's the person I know. If the hiring manager is one of the person I know, if you see this, definitely you won't get this because he knows that you are not paying attention to details. So another do not thing that we highly discourage is do not mix unrelated topics. like the one I presented, they are talking about epidemiology, you understand, of anything like or public health things. And then you are now bringing your experience that is entirely all related to the topic. It's highly discouraged. And then you have to, and you do not allow, you are not encouraged to make our points unclear. Simple sentence, maximum, I think maximum is in a sentence, is it 24 words, 24 to 30? When it is more than that, it would be too boring to read. Your paragraph should be so concise. I think maximum is 250 or 300 words per paragraph. It is more than that, it will look so untidy. So make your words simple and concise, easy to read. Do not lie, please. Just say what is with anything that you have evidence to it. Just say it. Do not, please. And then use of informal opening salutations like dear sir, ma, to whom it may concern, hello, hi. So these are what considered is informal. And then also at the end, we are discouraged to use like informal salutation, like bye, talk soon, thanks, cheers, take care. So these ones we are highly discouraged about using them. And last but not the least, to say thank you to all. So with your permission, so moderator, please let me use this opportunity to just show them how we insert hyperlink.
Please go ahead, sir.
Yes, okay. So just 1 minute. Okay, all right, so can you see my screen now? Okay, so assuming now, if are you seeing my screen?
Yes, we can see a blank page.
Okay, yes, a blank page. So if you write like this is my name. So if I want to put my Google Scholar here, I'll just highlight it. Right, insert link.
Please make it bold.
Okay, I'm coming. Okay, so I'm coming. All right. Like this is okay. So insert.
Yeah. Thank you.
Link. Insert. So it will show you where you can put it. So you just go to your Google Scholar. Mine is always open here. So make sure that it's opened. Then you click. Then you go back to your works. And you put the address here. So now you put hyperlink. So if I see it like this, I know something. So if I want to open it, I'll just left click, open hyperlink. It will just directly take me to can you see? Just take me directly to my Google Scholar. So you don't have to to use it this way, like this, because I saw so many people doing it. They'll write, oops. They'll write like this. Apologies, I'm not talking to you. Then they'll now do it like this. You know, it doesn't look professional in this way. So this is what I mean by inserting hyperlink into your Word document. And then the second thing is about using your research to see the impact of your research that you can use to write a story about yourself or about your research. So if you are in the academia or you have some published papers, So you can, I normally click by year to show your research, current research. I need to show how your research is listed by citations. So this is one of our premier paper. So you can click here. So you go down. So this is, it has been cited by 101. So when you are writing, you can say, yes, sir.
I think your screen is not moving.
The
screen is not
the
moving.
Second screen. We are not seeing the second screen.
Okay, well, is it this one? Do you see this Google Scholar?
Yes, we have seen Mubarak plus the Google Scholar link.
Okay, what of this one?
That's all that is on display right now.
Okay, so I'm coming. 1 minute. Okay, this is what you are seeing, is it?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so I'm coming. Do you see this one?
No, still as before.
Okay, so I'm coming. 1 minute. Oh, I see. So I'll share it now.
Okay.
So do you see it now?
Yes, we can see it now.
All right. So now,
Yes.
let me go back.
Yes,
So
we
assuming,
can see it.
this is your Google Scholar profile. So this is arranged based on the year the article is published, and this is the number of citations. So, like I said, we normally use this paper. You know, you have to pick the paper that will best sell you. But this is the paper that we use with Mustafa as the primary author. So you can click here, and this is, it's cited by 101 authors. And then this is all the versions. So you can click on it, it will now take you to where the publication page and then related articles. So this is 11 versions, so you can click here. So from here, when you click there, you will see different organizations that hosted your paper. So I can say this is NIH, that's in the US, that's PubMed. So you can now say your paper has been hosted by the United States National Library. See, it's better than just writing your published paper on COVID. Or you can say, can you see it has been hosted by Cardiff University. So this is something that you can you see by Malaysian Medical Repository. My paper has been hosted by Malaysian Medical Repository. You know, it's added, it's making it more coloring. And you just check and see, is there any big organization that hosted the paper? So like this is, I think this is WHO. I hope it will open in the same page. Yes. Did you see WHO? Hello?
Yes, we.
Are you seeing
we can see it.
Yes. So can you see?
Yes,
so
we can see it. We can see it.
So you can now say this paper, because this is English, you can just turn it to English.
In other language.
So you can now say, your paper has been hosted by WHO. This is big in epidemiology. To say that your WHO consider your paper and hosted it in their own page to demonstrate information about WHO. You know that this is big. And if somebody just writes, he published paper in COVID, and you now say I published, and the paper is even hosted by WHO, they'll consider you. They'll first look at it before they look for someone else that will just say, I published paper. I just published 10 papers. This one said I published 10 papers. This one said I published 10 papers. And these papers has been hosted by international organization. Example, WHO. They'll definitely look at it first before they'll consider the other guy. So this is how we see how our research impacts and how we use it to write a story. Also, you can also check this. You can include in your cover letter all what I'm telling you. You can also, if you open the paper, you can see Mustafa is from. Why is the information about authors information? I wish I can see, so that you can see all the authors from there and where they came from. So you can use that information. Okay, author information, yes, it's here. So you can see Mustafa is from School of Science Malaysia. So you can say you collaborated with international experts, including those from, Penang, Malaysia, Ahmadu Bello University, University of Tasmania, from US, from Harvard, it add more value, to the information you are saying. So this is how you pick information from your published studies to add more value to the story you are saying. Thank you so much, and I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Prof. Seriously, this has been an enlightenment session. I can see that you have been with us in the last almost 1 hour, 20 minutes. And I want to believe that within this time, you have quietly broadened our knowledge. You have impacted on what we should know with regards to cover letter. So I think because time has moved so fast, we are going to start entertaining questions. Well, I want to also thank you. That is the beauty of Australian dollars. I can see that you've given me a house at Dabo Street. So I want to thank you. I want everybody to help me thank the coordinator for giving me that house. I will collect. I'm sure Dr. Burji will give me the key since I'm very close to him. So I will go there and get the key from him. Thank you once again. I always like to address you as professor based on my own definition of who a prof is. So we are going to go straight to the second segment, which is the question and answer session. There's a hand already. I think Mudassir, his hand has been up for a while. So Mudassir, please, if you can unmute yourself and let us have your question. So, Prof, do we take all the questions at once, or you are going to strike one after the other?
Yes, let me take them one after the other so that I shouldn't miss out.
Okay. So, Mudassir, please, you can go ahead.
Yeah. Hello, moderators. My name is Mudassir Baladouda. Good day to you all. First of all, I want to express my appreciation for hosting this webinar. Yeah, it is a great opportunity. Thank you, moderators. Special regard to the presenter, Dr. Ibrahim Jatau. So I have a question, sir. Hello, are you hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. Special regard to presenter, Dr. Ibrahim Jatau. Thank you, sir, for the wonderful presentation. I have a question. So, sir, regarding to the work experience, like what should I write? Like what should I write? For example, what should I write if I don't have a specific experience related to the job I'm applying for? Like in my first paragraph, like what should I write about if I don't have a specific experience related to the job I'm applying for? So do you understand my question?
Yes, I got your question, yes.
Okay, so thank you, sir.
All right, so in this case, there's two tricks that we are using. In this case, you have to be silent about experience when you are mentioning it. So what you mentioned, I know definitely the job you're applying, you must have the knowledge. I mean, you must have the knowledge about that particular position you're applying. So you just be emphasizing on the knowledge. You have knowledge obtained through your university degree from someone for your university, something like that. Or that's number one. Or number two, what I normally do if I don't have experience, I quickly go to online. Sometimes I normally go to Coursera. So I'll now see what are the courses online, free online courses on that particular field. So I would just go and enroll. I don't have to complete the course. So I'll just write it. or I'm currently undergoing an online training on a particular, and I'll just mention the field. Through Coursera, I can provide the link to it. So to answer your question, if you don't have, just emphasize on your qualification or on your education, on the knowledge about that particular post you are applying. So you can say you have a vast knowledge about this obtained or gained through again through your university education. And you currently participating or I'm undergoing an online training with Coursera, something like that. Just to show them that you are actually like on the process of getting more training and skills about the job you're applying. So that's fine.
Okay.
I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, I think you've done justice to it. If I can borrow the mouth of Mudassel. So we move to the next, our Senator, Honorable. Can we have your question, Kabir Nuhu?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kabir from Kano State National Local Government. First of all, I want to recognize the speaker. When I joined in, they have gone far, but later I understood whatever he was trying to put up. I want to use this opportunity to say thank you, sir, and I appreciate. My question is, like us that are undergraduate, and we are not working in academia. Most of us, we went to the school, but due to one of two things, we are still struggle. So we don't have some experience in academia. The question I wanted to ask, if I wanted to, if I saw an advert and I wanted to apply, I don't have a working experience. Some question the first person asked, and I believe I don't even have experience on anything, maybe because I have never worked with any organization. So how can I put down the, in terms of the experience? I heard you say you used to go to a Coursera to Google on course so that you started learning about it. Why, if that course is not, as in, it is, I read information technology, why, if the course is related to maybe medical line, and I have interest in such advert. So second, the second question, you made mention of this site, the Scholar. Sorry, if you can remind me, the Scholar something.
Google Scholar.
Okay,
yeah,
yes.
Google Scholar. And I believe it's all those academia that have written many journals or something like that. Like me, that I have not been in such line, how can I participate to share some knowledge I have through the Google Scholar? Thank you so much, sir.
All right.
Okay,
thank you so
thank
much
you.
for
Please, Mr. Our resource person, before you go ahead to answer this question, please, I want to appeal to all participants that a form has been shared on the chat box. It's like a feedback form. I noticed some of us are leaving already. So please kindly, before you exit, kindly go to that chat box and provide feedback for this very lecture. It's very important. Thank you, sir. You can go ahead and answer the question from Kabir.
All right, thank you so much. And also to add the information, also while giving the feedback through the form, we are also using the information, the name and the email address you provided to send you your certificate of participation. Yes. So to answer your question, I think I partly answered it in the first question. So if you don't have any experience, like I said, I just give the academic cover letter as an example, because we are all, the PSI is academy is a forum for scholars, but the format is the same thing. It's just the content that matters. So if you don't have experience, like I said before, what you need to do is just to capitalize on your education. I'm very, very much sure that you can't just apply any position if you don't have any knowledge, any background knowledge about it. I doubt if you can apply any, assuming now if you are a pharmacist, as an example, if you are a chemist, there's no way you can apply maybe in maybe as a lawyer or something like that. You must have at least a background education or knowledge about it. So is that particular skills, the knowledge that you have, is that what you will use to package yourself? It doesn't have to be research. Like if the person moderating this one, I think he has a very vast, Danbatta has practiced in fact, all the pharmacy practice area, Danbatta has practiced there. So I'm very sure if maybe the academia, maybe it's just that you don't teach, but there's nothing new there to you. So if Danbatta will anything that comes to his way, at least I know he has a way of picking information from all these experiences and package them together in a letter. So what I'm trying to say is, if you have the education, even in pharmacy, if you finish pharmacy, X-ray the courses we did in pharmacy, we did pharmacy management, pharmacology, all those courses, little courses. You can pick one that is related to the job you're applying, and you can now say you are fully trained in pharmacy on this, which you think or you believe perfectly match with this position they're asking. And I don't think there are so many online course provision website that you can go, and they're absolutely free and they're acceptable. In fact, in my CV, I have a section for online training courses. So I have the training a lot. So anytime I'm applying for a job, I just go to my pool. I just pick the training that really aligns with what they're asking for. I'll just put it. If they said they need somebody with good communication skills, I'll tell them I have good communication skills. I have presented in these seminars, and then I have attended these courses from these online purposes, just to get more knowledge about communication, just to put more weight to it. So I don't know if I have answered your question. If not, you can chat with me.
Thank you so much.
I think he also asked question about I use it if you don't have Google. Yeah, if you don't have Google Scholar, I said if you don't have Google Scholar, you can use your bachelor. All of us finishing sciences, we did research project. So you can use that research project, you can package it. You don't have to highlight Google Scholar. You just read about it. You demonstrated your ability to conduct all those visualizing trichomes. I don't want to know what I'm using trichomes. Visualizing trichomes, spectrophotometry, all those things. So you can actually mention them. It doesn't have to be research. You understand? So maybe you chat privately to discuss more about it. Let's go for the next person.
Oh, sorry I didn't know I have not unmuted myself. Thank you, sir, for the response. I also have I can see hands, but I have one or two questions to ask too. Well, I just want to chip in with regards to what you've just answered now, the experience. It's just a little experience that I want to share with us. I could remember when I was doing my NYSC and there was an opening for an NGO by one of my elder brother, Dr. Sefianu, and he asked me to bring my CV. So when I gave him the CV, there was no working experience. And there instantly he drafted something. He asked me some couple of questions and I told him what I did. I told him that when I was in 500 level, I did a part-time job with the Medina Pharmacy. And he asked me what I was doing. So I told him we were attending to, the Al Medina Pharmacy. Then we are giving some free treatment to certain class of underprivileged patients. And we were basically in charge of that program at 500. In fact, we were raising the prescription and everything. And the way Dr. Sofiano crafted that experience, I myself, I had to look at it twice, whether I was actually the one, because he wrote it like a seasoned, the way he wrote it, I was like, was I the one that did this? And truly, it was what I did at Al Madina.
Exactly. It depends on how you package. Yes.
Exactly. It was very so. So one of my question is with regards to this Google Scholar. Now,
yes,
we know that in most cases you submit cover letter in hard copy. Now, if you go ahead and use this hyperlink and not write the full, the full description, I don't think is there going to be an issue, because I don't think on a paper it can be clicked and then it will take you to the page, So that's the way I'm looking at it. And then still, my second question is the cover letter. Do you wait for it to be asked before you attach it to whatever you're submitting, or once there's an opening, you instantly back it up with the cover letter, whether you've been asked to include it or not? So those are the two questions I have.
Okay, yes, thank you so much. Yes, I think someone else have asked me. So the first question is, if you are submitting the hard copy, so I think this is mostly applicable back home, where we apply or we send our application through paper or sometimes through email. But I know, okay, let's take, assume if you send it through the paper. So the point is you already put your name like Mubarak or Ibrahim Jatau. So the hyperlink is there, but the issue is because it's a paper, it's hard copy. So there is no chance of clicking that link to take you to Zoom. But you can use name search. So I can put Ibrahim Jatau on Google Scholar and it will bring me up from Google Scholar. So it doesn't have to be through the hyperlink. And even if there are so many Ibrahim Jatau there, my photo is there. Or the affiliation, my school or my email is there on the Google Scholar, so they can always see it. So I think there is no much issue with that. And then yes, to answer your question, yes, once there is opening, whether in the opening they require for cover letter or not, send cover letter, write cover letter and send, attach it. This is highly encouraged. Yes, sir. Whether it's a scholarship or just write, even if there is no description, use your CV, add additional, explain your CV in the cover letter and send.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we go to Ibrahim, line officer Ibrahim Alidu. Let me be biased because he's from my constituency. So let me.
Thank you so very much, my mentor and the moderator of this session. Thank you, sir. I must also thank the presenter for this very insightful and value-added presentation. Sir, truly your mode of delivery, which was very simple and clear, is truly impressive. May Allah continue to enrich you, sir.
Amen, sir. Amen, sir.
Thank you, sir. Then, sir, my question is, sir, please, could you please comment on the use of artificial intelligence in writing cover letter? Thank you, sir.
Okay, yes, it's something that I've missed. But yes, thank you. Nowadays, with the advent of this AI, Chat GTP, and so many other, even like some of the, is it Bing? Yes. So you can ask the GTP and give some brief description of yourself, and it can generate your cover letter. I will strongly suggest that please you should avoid it. Because if you're applying for an academic position, maybe a scholarship, those guys, they are looking for your what you can offer, what is in your brain that you can offer. So if they detect that, because all those things you are passing, it passed through so many software before they reach them. So if they really detect that this your cover letter is written by artificially intelligent generated software, they'll definitely know that there is no any novelty in it, and it's something that you are not, how do I say, you can't produce anything. So that means it's automatic disqualification. So possibly for Nigeria that we have some challenges, yes, you can, but I really don't want to, because this is like a position that they will call you for an interview and you have to be there to defend yourself. So I don't really encourage. It's possible, but I don't really, that's why I did not even mention it in my presentation. It's not something that's encouraged, especially in academic environment. But to answer your question, not encouraged. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So we have some questions from the chat box. Like Bashir asked, what is the difference between a resume and a cover letter? The second question by Mubarak Hussaini, is there clear distinction between cover letter, personal statement, or statement of purpose? So maybe you can take these two before we go to the last two hands.
Okay, so I think the first one, we already done it in the last webinar, but I'll say it. So the difference between a resume and the cover letter, it depends on the region you are. Like in Australia, they use the name interchangeably. Resume and CV is almost the same. If you go to the US, resume and CV, they are different. If you go to the UK, resume and CV, they are totally two different. But the only thing is they are the same document. It's only the difference is how you present it. A resume is the brief form of CV. That's just the clear difference. Resume is more summarized. That is a summarized version of a CV. CV is more elaborate, it's more comprehensive. So I could say a resume could be 1 or 2 page maximum, whereas a CV can go up to 15 pages or 10 pages if you are a professor, all those big names, like all these professors. So the resume is you can write as many things related to you as possible. CV, you can write as many things as possible within it. But a resume is just the particular information they are looking for that particular position. You just summarize it. I think two pages maximum. You just tidy it up and submit. So that's it. I think I'll send you the link. I think you already have the link to the previous presentation. And then the second question is from Mubarak. Yes, there is clear difference between the two. The personal statement also, it depends on the institution. Some personal statement, they require you to write a comprehensive document, like 1-page document. Some institution, which is widely understandable, a personal statement is a brief 3 words, 3 sentences that you write in your CV. Like after your name, everything, then the second one is your personal statement, or some call it personal profile. So it depends on the name. But to answer your question, the two are totally different. For the institution that they really require a document, they will say 1-page personal statement. So if they say they are looking for someone to research officer on diabetes or on high blood pressure, they want to conduct prospective cohort study on a particular population in Nigeria or something like that. So they are looking for somebody with research experience on diabetics. So what that research statement is saying, you just have to be specific about that and requirement there. So you just have to write on your experience on conducting diabetes research using prospective cohort study. That's the only thing that you write. But for the other school of thought, that using personal statement only for your resume, which I belong to, is when you write your resume, your contact name, the first thing that you normally write is your personal statement. So you make it maximum 3 sentences. Just mention, just to summarize who you are in terms of what they're asking. I hope I answered your question.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
We are going to take 2 more questions from Abubakar Sunusi and Abubakar Usman. That's another bias because of my name. They both have the same name as me. So inshallah, after these 2, any other question will be channeled to our resource person through the appropriate channel, and I'm sure he will definitely get back to whoever is asking those questions. After which, our professor, in person of Professor Abubakar Shaban, another Abubakar, will give us a closing or vote of thanks before we call it a day. So please, Abubakar Sunusi Adam, you have the floor. You can go ahead and ask your question. We are going to, apologies, Abubakar Usman, you can go ahead. We are going to meet Abubakar Sunusi until you are able to sort the, I think there's an issue with your sound system. So Abubakar Usman, please go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, thank you, sir. My name is Kamal Abubakar Usman from Jigawa State, Nigeria. Sir, I hope you are hearing me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Sir, during my BSc graduate, normally based on my course that I studied geology. And later on, when I graduated, I entered labor market. I learned several skills, but without certificate, because I went to labor market. Some people even don't know how to give me certificate on that thing. So when I took my cover letter, if I inserted that I have experience on so thing, I don't have any evidence that can prove that I have it. But when you take me to the field, I can define it. Can I write it on my cover paper, or I should just leave it?
Yes, you definitely write it. The first thing is that experience. Do you have like employment letter for that?
No, just like how we are living here in Kano. I know some people that are doing
no, yes, you can write it.
Yes, I joined them. I learned a lot of skills in the wall.
Yes.
I joined geophysical survey. I learned a lot of it. I joined several plumbing, everything.
Exactly.
But I don't have certificate on it.
I understand. Okay. You can write it. So if you write, you can just tell them, okay, you have this experience on this, blah, 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 blah. So the purpose of the cover letter is to get you to invite you to for the interview. So at the interview, if they ask you, okay, you mentioned this, you mentioned that, maybe you show us the evidence. Then you can say, okay, I can get or I can collect that's what you call recommendation letter. So in this case, you can get a recommendation, or once they invite you for the interview, before you go, you can just ask the manager or anybody at the company that this is what is going on, and please just need a recommendation letter. In that recommendation letter, I'm very sure they will mention all this specific training that you did.
Exactly.
Even if they don't want to, or you don't want to let them know that this is the job you are applying, and you know how we do our things in Nigeria. You can pick one of the staff that you are in good terms with him, then he can write it for you. He can even if he can't write on a letter heading because it's an informal thing, he can send you an email. Like he can send an email, dear blah blah blah. This guy is this sign, Mr. Danbatta, manager, regional manager at so company. Then you can now screenshot the email address and attach it or and print it out and give them. So
thank you,
perfect, you can do it, yes.
Okay, thank you,
Mr. Sanz. So
yes, hello.
Abubakar Sunusi.
Yes, Abubakar Sunusi.
Let's have your last.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah, good afternoon to you all.
Yes, good afternoon.
More especially my mentor and elder brother, the erudite scholar of our time, in person of Dr. Ibrahim Jatau. Yeah, actually, my question has been asked by someone, and the response was given appropriately. It was about the difference between study plan and a cover letter. I wanted to know, is there any difference between the two, or they are all the same thing?
Okay.
And, I think. Okay, sir.
Yes, I think the questions are different.
Okay.
Yeah, because the other guy said difference between a cover letter and a personal statement. And I think what you are asking is a research plan, is it?
Yeah, research plan.
No, the two are different.
Okay,
so a cover letter is just like, can I continue?
Yes, you can continue, sir.
All right, so the cover letter is just like what you said, application letter. That's the word, the term we always use. So cover letter is, but a proposal is like, they say they have a scholarship. Okay, the scholarship, they want to find out the antimicrobial activity of Sorbonifera indica, apologies. So in that case, you need to write a proposal, like a proposal is that you are proposing that, okay, if I am the candidate to analyze this plant or to determine this activity from this plant, okay, this is what I intend to use. This is what I intend to follow to get this. That is proposal, like you are proposing, you are telling them, okay, if I will do, you know, the English writing proposal is in future tense. So I will use spectrophotometry method. I will use 200 rats. I will use this. I will, you understand? So you are telling the guy that, okay, since you are looking for someone to come and do research on this particular plant to find out this effect on rats. So this is how I want, this is, if you employ me, this is what I will use to do this research. So that's proposal. So you tell them the background, to tell him that, okay, this is the knowledge you have, the background knowledge you have about this research. You go and do literature review. You now go and tell him this is the research aim. Okay, the aim, if you said, I want to identify this particular, I will go ahead and also identify toxicity, some other things, like additional thing. Then method, okay, I want to conduct this. This is what I want to use to identify this. When you do this, then at the end, you now say the significance of the research. Okay, at the end, if I finish the research, I'll publish it in this paper and this in that. And when we have it, it will be like a groundbreaking research that will bring a new drug discovery in treatment of malaria. You know, that's research significant. Then you now go, okay, the budget from my thinking, the research, we need this, we need that, we need that. Then you now give a Gantt chart. Okay, from January to February, we need to source the plan. From March to June, we need to conduct the research. We need to take the rats to this. We need to, you know, you tell him what you intend to do. And the guy will now look at, okay, Ed, I think this guy know what we are doing. Yes. Then the cover letter is telling the researcher, the hiring officer, who you are. Okay, you finished this. If you did university there, your previous research was on another plant or was on this plant, because in the proposal you are not telling the person, okay, I previously conducted this, I found out this. No, you can only cite yourself in the literature review that Abubakar et al. Conducted this plan, found, not that I conducted, and cite yourself. You understand? But the cover letter is personified. You are telling, you are mentioning, you are saying, I did this. But in the proposal, you are telling.
So if I understand, sir, proposal is the same as research plan.
Yes, proposal is research plan, yes. Meanwhile, the cover letter is just like application letter. Let me use layman language. All right, I hope I answered your question.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
Thank you very much, our resource person. Because of time, I want to appreciate you once again. You have done justice to this topic, and I believe we are all better informed. And it is our hope that when next we have any reason to invite you for similar engagement, you will find you will give us your time. At this point, I would like to call on our professor, Abubakar Shaban, to please give us a vote of thanks. I hope Abubakar Shaban is with us. Sir, are you with us? Okay.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abubakar Danbatta, for giving me the opportunity. I wish to sincerely thank everyone for finding time to attend this webinar, and I hope you will find it useful and you will make the best use of it at the appropriate time. And if you have any questions, anything, feel free to contact us through our email, which is readily available. And I think that's all. Everything has been said. Thank you very much for sacrificing your time and being with us. And it's a learning curve. We always try to encourage everyone to continue learning and so that we will reach the desired destination collectively. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you, everyone, for
before the moderator close I strongly advise us to fill this form, to just give us your name as you want it to be in your certificate, and then your email address, because we are sending the recording for this webinar, and then your certificate and the lecture materials. Please, I'll post the form again once more. No, I will send the form is here. Just click on the form. It will take you to where you provide the information. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Thank you, sir. And then the email address once again, even though it has been posted, is pharmscholarsinitiative@gmail.com. Pharm Scholars Initiative, no space, pharmscholarsinitiative@gmail.com. So if you have any query, any question, any thing that you want to find out, please, you can always reach out to the organization through this very email. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed and nice weekend.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I really appreciate the presentation.
Thank you, Adam Muhammad. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We do appreciate you.
Thank you, Senator.
I am Abubakar Sadiq Wada. I remain seated.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.